At the beginning of the film, a young pretty girl of about 10 years old is seen. This little girl's name was Sophie, and she used to live in an orphanage. Because both of her parents died, Sophie suffered sleep disorders, so she used to spend her night while waking up. She continues to wander orphanage. Because she had sleep disorder throughout the night, she had also a fear like the other kids. There is an old man who appears in the darkness, and he abducts the children. After this, he eats these children after killing them. One night when all are sleeping, she hears a cat's meow. She was facing the sleep disorder, so she goes to check it outside. When she is on the balcony, she checks that some cats have dropped the trash cans. Suddenly, she notices that a giant's hand sets the trash bin on its place, appearing from the back of the building. Afterwards, a gigantic giant appears from the backside of the building. Sophie had witnessed that giant, and it had also viewed her. She is scared, seeing it, and she immediately moves to her bed. But that giant captures Sophie, putting its hand in the window, and it takes her away with it. It is seen, this giant used to keep itself hidden from the human beings. If any human being used to appear before it, it used to cover itself in some way, and then it sneaks out from there. Then it steps into another world, taking Sophie, and it was the giant's world. It means that only giants lived there. Sophie notices that it is grand house, and everything of that house was gigantic in size like the giants. Sophie attempts to escape from there. Giant says to her, "There is no way to escape, so you cannot go anywhere from here." Hearing it, she is frightened. She observes that it is an aged giant. It says to Sophie while putting her on the frying pan, "I am feeling much appetite. I am feeling appetite which is not being controlled by me." Sophie was thinking, this giant is going to victimize me. She also hears the laughing sounds of other giants there. So she asks that aged giants, "Are there also other giants?" Aged giant says on it, "Yeah, there are also other giants. And those all giants are cannibals as they eat the raw flesh of human beings. Because they don't take pity on any human being. And their captured person is engulfed by them." Knowing it, Sophie is more frightened. So she asks aged giant, "Will you also eat me?" That aged giant tells on it, "No, I don't eat the human beings, because I am vegetarian giant, not the man-eater." And this giant only takes the vegetable which was flavorless. In spite of this, he does not want to eat the human beings. It indicates that it is a sympathetic and kid-hearted giant. She asks the aged giant, "Why have you brought me here if you don't eat the human beings?" The aged giant tells that you had seen me. You could tell to someone there about me, and my life might be in danger in this way. Knowing about us, human beings reach here, and they also put to end the other giants. And it is the cause that I had to bring you here. Now you will spend the whole span of your life with me here. Sophie says on it, "No, I will flee." The aged giant says, "No, never take a risk to run away. Otherwise, the giants which are outside will not take pity on you." Saying it, that aged giant places Sophie on a board, and it says to her, "Have rest for some time." But Sophie used to suffer the sleep disorders. Then she notices that giant is taking out the big bottles from its bag. There was something in those bottles which was sparkling. But she asks the giants, "What is in these bottles?" The giant tells, "There are dreams in it." She says on it, "Oh, then these are not of my use, because I don't dream. And how can I dream? Because I suffer the sleep disorder." Then that giant starts reading that book which was in Sophie's possession. There were many written stories in this book. Elderly giant begins to read the stories that are causing Sophie to sleep. After this, that aged giant takes a bottle, and it takes the dreams out of the bottle. Meanwhile, Sophie wakes up. She notices that giant is sleeping yet. Getting the benefit of it, she escapes outside from that house. She tries to run away, but she is captured by a huge giant. And that giant was in fact bigger than that aged giant. Sophie requests to that giant, "Let me go from here." But that giant does not care Sophie, and it engulfs her. Sophie wakes up exactly after this. It means that Sophie was having a nightmare. Sophie asks that giant after waking up, "It is you who did it, because neither I sleep nor I dream. But the dream that you have shown to me was a nightmare." That giant says, "I had to do it. I did so to inform you how much risk is wandering outside for you, so it will be better for you to stay here." The aged giant explains to Sophie, "The presented giant here are bigger in size than me, and I am trivial before those giants, because I am a small giant and also aged one." A huge giant comes inside as they were still conversing with each other, and it was truly bigger than that aged giant. That giant asks the aged giant while coming that, "Pygmy, with whom were you talking?" Here all giants used to call the aged giant a pygmy, because it was smallest in size than others. The aged giant replies them, "No, I was talking with none." Meanwhile, Sophie also hides somewhere. That bigger giant's hand was wounded, so it had come to the aged man for dressing. As being cannibal, that giant senses the smell of human being in that house. So he begins to check the place things there. Then Sophie moves into that vegetable which aged man used to eat. Smelling that vegetable, that giant senses the human being there. Giant had never eaten this vegetable ever before, but it was smelling the enticing human being in this vegetable today. Because Sophie was inside, so the giant begins to eat it. The aged giant says, witnessing it, "Stop. You cannot take it. Have you forgotten that you don't take vegetables?" That giant says on it, "Ah, how I forget it that I don't take vegetables." So it throws the vegetable and Sophie is rescued. Afterwards, that giant leaves from there. Then that aged giant had to go somewhere. Sophie asks it, "Where are you going?" The aged man says on it, "I am going for an urgent work." She asks, "What is that urgent work?" But it does not reveal anything, but it reveals on the insistence of Sophie that, "I am going to capture the dreams." Then Sophie insists it, "Take me with you." But he did not want to accompany her with him, because there will be the fatal consequences if the sleeping giants outside are awakened and see her. So it did not want to take any danger. But it agrees to take Sophie with it on her utmost insistence. They notice, coming outside, that those giants are sleeping profoundly. So they wanted to cross them, but all giants are awakened at the same time. And they begin to irritate the aged giant that, "Pygmy, where are you going?" It says on it, "I am going on my job." Those giants say to it, "We don't want you to go outside from here, in the world of humans, because our lives will be at risk if human beings knew about us." All giants irritated the aged giant too much. Getting a chance, Sophie hides in a vehicle. Then aged giant says while pointing to the sky that, "Look at that, all witness that it is cloudy and it is going to rain." Actually, all giants used to afraid from the water, because they had irrational fear of water. Then it starts raining, and all giant hide leaving from there. Getting the advantage of it, both aged giant and Sophie goes from there. They begin to climb up the mountains. Climbing up, they go far away crossing the clouds. Sophie says, "These stars are looking charming. Viewing from here." The aged giant tells, "I can also hear their rhythm. It indicates that I can hear the sound of everything in the universe. I can hear the ants and insects. Even I can hear the tails of the trees. My audibility is too strong to hear the voice of things of universe." Sophie says after hearing it, "I am not believing in your told stories." The aged giant says, "It is truth, my daughter. You will have to trust it." Afterwards, they reach a lake. There was a tall and prosperous tree nearby it. The aged giant jumps into the water and Sophie also jumps with it. Then both reach at the opposite brink of the lake. And it is the world of dream, because dreams drop from that tree like the drops. And the aged giant comes here only to capture them. Then they both capture many dreams together. These included both good and bad dreams. Capturing these dreams, they begin to move back. They had befriended closely now. They were contented with each other. The aged giant also tells her about its poignant story, that here all giants call me Pygmy, but it is please thinking something. I have also met someone who used to call me the big friendly giant. Hearing it, Sophie says, "I will also call you the big friendly giant now on." They wander the city after capturing the dreams, where the kids are sleeping in their own houses, and the big friendly giant awards them very good dreams during their sleep, so the people may get the pleasure in their dreams. Here it is known that the big friendly giant is tender-hearted giant, who awards the dreams to the people, taking them from the dream world, so these may bring pleasure in their life, no matter during their sleeps. Sophie asks, "Were you told about the dreams by your parents?" The big friendly giant tells on it, "Giants have no parents." Then she asks the age of the big friendly giant. "How old are you?" The big friendly giant tells that my age is equal to this universe age. It means that giants had also created with the creation of this universe, but they live in this universe behind the walls, hiding themselves from the human beings. Then they begin to return. Suddenly, Sophie asks, "Where is my blanket?" Actually, Sophie's blanket had left in the giant's world, and the big friendly giant gets worried for this fact. So it says to Sophie, "I cannot bring you back now, because those giants had detected till now that any human being is also with me." And here the big friendly giant reveals a fact to Sophie. "I had found a kid for many years ago. He was as innocent and pretty as you are, and he had also seen me like you. So I brought that child into the world of the giants, and the same kid taught me how to read. And your worn jacket belongs to that my innocent little friend. But it was too late before I bring that child into his world, and I don't want to see you to face same consequences which my innocent friend faced, because you are also my friend now." Then he decides to go, leaving Sophie there, whereas Sophie forbids it to stay here, and she insists to accompany it. At this time, that giant does not agree with her. Then the big friendly giant begins to go, leaving her in the orphanage. Sophie did not want to stay there, so she jumps off the balcony, because she knew that she will be secured by the big friendly giant. And it happens the same. the big friendly giant saves her, so it has to agree with Sophie unwillingly. So it brings her again into the world of the giants, where the rest of the giants were already waiting for them, because all giants had come to know that aged giant has any human being. So all giants were curious to know, who is that human being? Where is that human? So they discover the house of the big friendly giant, smelling the blanket, and they bring about the breakage of the house belongings. But the big friendly giant burns that blanket, having the smell of Sophie. Then it asks all giants to leave its house. Sophie notices the hanging photo on the wall. It was the photo of a queen. Sophie hits upon a plan, noticing that photo. She asks the big friendly giant to make a dream for the queen, and expose in that dream that there is world of giants in the same universe. And those giants are too dangerous which eat all kids, killing them. And you may also bring both of us in that dream, so the queen may recognize us if we go before them. Hearing it, the big friendly giant does the same, and he creates a dream of all giants, living in the giants' world. And it also includes himself and Sophie into this dream, and it also includes the other missing kids of the city. Then they move nearby the palace of the queen, and they transfer the dreams into sleeping queen. And the queen dreams what they wanted to show to her. Waking up, the queen is scared because it was a nightmare. The queen shares her dream to her attendant. Her attendant consoles her saying, "Don't worry, it was just your nightmare." She says, reading the newspaper, a strange happening has occurred, because many kids had been lost from their house last night. It happens the same as you have dreamt. Then the queen says, "Withdraw the curtains." Sophie was standing near windowsill as the curtains are withdrawn. They had actually made it the part of the dream, and they had also included the big friendly giant there. Sophie tells them about the big friendly giant. She also takes the words of queen saying, "Promise me that you will not harm to the big friendly giant." Then the big friendly giant appears before the queen and bends it down with etiquette. Then the queen also fulfills her promise. There was also a ridiculous fact about the giants here. They were unable to pronounce the correct word, so it used to call something else than the queen. The big friendly giant was unable to utter the word human being correctly. They used to utter the jumbled out words. Afterwards, the queen greets them warmly, and she also offers them an excellent feast. Then they reveal everything to the queen. There are two bigger giants in the giants' world, which eat the kids and human beings, catching them. So the queen gets ready to help them, and she prepares her complete military. With the help of the big friendly giant, they move to the giants' world, getting in the helicopters. Now they had planned here properly, so they stop at a place according to a plan, because they had arrived there to assault them with full preparation. The plan included that the big friendly giant will create a dream, and the big friendly giant will include the repentance and guilt in these dreams for their bad deeds which were committed by them. And the big friendly giant also creates such a dream. As the big friendly giant goes to deliver that dream to those giants, then it remembers that I have forgotten the tool of delivering the dream into the palace of the queen, and it was dangerous to do it without that thing, because it had to go to those giants. But Sophie courageously takes that dream jar to the place of sleeping giants. The leader of those giants wakes up before Sophie was able to break this jar. Sophie breaks that jar as it is going to grab her, and that dream is delivered to the sleeping giants. Waking up, those giants feel guilt on their bad doings, but the giant leader was waking up, so it does not feel any repentance or guilt. So it attacks Sophie, but the big friendly giant appears before that giant. That giant catches it in its hand because of big friendly giant's small size. As it begins to kill the big friendly giant, the queen's armed military reaches there in the helicopter, and they take all giants with them, seizing them, and they are left on an island amid of the sea. Now there was water in their surroundings, and they used to fear the water, so they could not escape from there. So they have been entrapped here for lifetime. The queen throws the seeds of foodstuff there for those giants, so these giants may grow the vegetables, using those seeds, and they eat that vegetable for the lifetime. Now those giants had disliking for this vegetable, but they had to eat it reluctantly, and they have to eat this vegetable, living on this island forever. After this, Sophie is shown who does not stay in the orphanage, but she lives in the palace of the queen. Sophie is very pleased here, and she can also contact with the big friendly giant at any time, because the big friendly giant had told that it can hear each sound of this universe. On the other side, the big friendly giant who have left alone in the giant's world, who have grown many other vegetables in the giant's world besides that meadow, and it is also contented in its life. Sophie comes to the windowsill daily and says good morning to BFG. Hearing it, the big friendly giant replies it. And this fabulous movie completes here.